Hello, welcome. I am so excited to kick off the month of decluttering and getting organized. And I have a super special guest who is joining us all month long. Her name is Dana K. White, and she is the author of.
I'm the author of Decluttering at the Speed of Life, and I'm the creator of the No Mess Decluttering Method, where we make progress and only progress in whatever amount of time that you have available.
It's very exciting. So, a quick little glimmer of how this all came about. I was walking with my husband in the mornings 2 years ago, and while we were walking, I was listening to Dana's book and about decluttering, and I was so inspired. And that was about the time where we also did our first Get Organized collaboration. I think it was 2 years ago. And then I was brave enough to reach out and email and say, we need you. The crafty world needs you. Would you be willing to do this collaboration? And she said yes. So here we are, and it's very exciting. Yesterday's video, we'll have the links below, and I did a 1 hour better with her. And Dana, do you want to explain what that was or is?
Yes, so a 1 hour better session is where I set a timer for 1 hour and we work on decluttering a space, any space. The process, my 5-step no mess decluttering process, works on any space. So because it is progress and only progress, and we never pull everything out of the space, it means we can work for any amount of time. So we see what we can get done in 1 hour. And it's always shocking and amazing and inspiring to see how much progress we can make in an hour with nothing left over that we have to do to be finished at the end of that hour. No, like we get to just stop at the end of the hour. So we did that in Cara's craft room. We cleared the floor, and and it was so much fun because it got, I think through that video, you get to see the process, you get to see how it works and how it's an extra big challenge in a craft space, because everything is legitimately something that could be used someday because you're creative and you're crafty, and that's very, very common for those who struggle with clutter as well. So we went through how to actually deal with all that.
Yeah. So for this week, the prompt is cleaning off your floor. So we thought, starting off the month, maybe you have a floor that was like mine and it was just piling up. And when you have those kind of piles, at least for me, I feel like it takes away the creativity, because you feel like, oh, I have to do this before I can make something. And so I think through this month, I think my hope and goal and dream for everyone is to leave the month or finish the month with a new outlook, a new creative space. Maybe it's just starting of the process, but at least, like you were saying, if you do even just an hour here and an hour there, like, it's progress, right?
Yeah.
So for this week's prompt, it's to, if you want to do what I did with Dana and do the 1 hour better and clear off your floor, if you're going to need maybe a couple hours that you want to set your timer, if you just do 20-minute chunks, that's why I'm going to be doing the prompts on Fridays, so that hopefully you have the weekend through, if you have a couple days throughout the week, and then we'll start on the next prompt. So throughout the month of January, every Friday will be the prompt week or day. And then also throughout the month, I have asked other crafty folks in mainly the junk journal community, a few art journalers and mixed media experts who are also showing how they organize things in their craft room. So they might be showing you how they organize their dies or their stamps or their lace, digitals. So just check the link below, and we have a calendar with all of the fun videos that will be coming. Those will be scheduled each day, so you'll keep an eye out for each day. And again, we'll have the calendar linked below for those. Okay, so as we dive into the month of decluttering and organizing, what are your top tips for getting started?
Yeah. So the reason that we're starting with the floor is that let's just be honest. A lot of times your craft spaces end up being dumping grounds, right? Like we were just talking beforehand about other people in your house putting things in there because they didn't know where those things needed to go, right? And so it just ends up with stuff that ends up making it harder for you to actually use the space for crafting, which is the goal, right? So we're going to clear the floor because the floor is not storage. I my whole
What?
my whole background is that this was my struggle, right? And so I didn't used to understand that the floor is not storage, but acknowledging that the floor can't be storage. Obviously, things end up there, right? But not letting myself define this spot on the floor as being where this thing goes was critical in me actually changing my home. And so taking the floor out of the equation as storage means that when you are clearing off the floor, the thing has to have a place to go. Okay. So the very short version of my 5-step process is that you first start with the decision-free stuff. You get the trash out. You go ahead and take things to their home if you already know where they go, right? Like, deal with the stuff that you already know what to do with it. Go ahead and get out any donations that you've been meaning to donate anyway, obvious donations. And then you're going to go item by item, asking yourself, if I needed this, where would I look for it first? Within the craft room, and the floor can't be the answer, right? Like, because the goal is to clear the floor. So we take that out of the equation, and then you take it immediately to the place where you would look for it first, and you deal with the reality of that space. Go watch the video that Cara and I did, because it is a demonstration of what all of this means, right? You can also get a printable of my 5-step process at A Slob Comes Clean. That's my website, aslobcomesclean.com/5 when you sign up for my newsletter, and that will help you work through this process. But the goal is to clear the floor so that this space becomes more usable.
Yeah. And then, yeah, I hope throughout the month, once the floor is cleaned, then we can go to the other sections.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And your printable is really helpful. If you're a visual person, which a lot of us are, it's very helpful to have it. And then just remember, okay, where am I? Because even as we were doing it, each tub or container that was on the floor, you kind of reset and do the process again, right? Is there trash in here? Is there something that doesn't belong in here? Can I donate?
Yeah.
So having that visual, which you can get from your video, is really helpful. And I mean, you can just tack it on your wall, keep it on your desk, something to visually refer to, I think was helpful. Yeah. So yeah, that's good. So week 1, clean your floor. Check out yesterday's video. And not only in the video that Dana and I did, in the description, several other crafters also did 1 hour betters with Dana's declutter experts.
Yes, my decluttering coaches. So I can't help everybody personally. So I train and certify decluttering coaches in my no mess process. So they know how to work with people in a way that's very respectful of what's important to you. I know as a crafter, it can be really scary to have someone give you advice on decluttering, because it feels like the stuff that I know is important, but other people might call it garbage. I know we had that conversation when we did ours. You were afraid I was going to call it garbage. And I'm like, of course it's not garbage. It's important to you. So you're making the decision, and my coaches know how to work with you through that process. So declutteringcoaches.com is where you can find a coach. See if there's one in your area who can help you in person, or most of them also do virtual coaching online, which is what Cara and I did.
Yeah. And so you'll also see all of the crafty folks in the description if you want to get even more inspiration, or maybe even just have it playing while you are decluttering, and you can have it kind of feel like you're doing it together. So yeah, a lot of things to look at and links to look at, but I hope this week, this launch of decluttering and organizing is going to really help us get motivated, and here we go, 2025. And thanks so much from the bottom of my heart, Dana. I really didn't expect for this to work out, and it is, and I'm super excited. So yay.
Can I say one last thing? You know, the better is the key. Make your goal better. Don't make your goal perfect. Make your goal better. That's why we call it 1 hour better. You may not finish in an hour. You might, but you may not finish in an hour. You may only go 5 minutes and then you get distracted. But if you're only making things better, it's going to be so worth it. And that change of goal is incredibly powerful in decluttering.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. For sure. Yay. All right, let's do it. Let's get better. No, I don't want to say that. Let's make it better.